Your business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Let's get drastic, building relationships to get you known, get you connected, and get paid.
Is your current brand and marketing strategy not working? Do you feel stressed, frustrated, or stuck in not getting the exposure or engagement you want? Do you need the help of an experienced and knowledgeable team that can get you the results you desire?
We are Goodall,
Hill,
and Wallet, your creative brand and marketing strategists.
With over 30 years of combined experience, we help your brand to stand out, to attract and engage customers, and grow revenue. Take our free brand and marketing assessment quiz on our site.
We deliver your game plan
Help you to have a healthy mindset about your brand.
and with your winning team to help you deliver the results.
We are GHW, GHWmarketingstrategy.com.
Hi, this is Tony Harris Taylor with another fabulous author of the Purpose, People, and Profits collaboration book, How Everyday Entrepreneurs Get Drastic Results. My name is Tony Harris Taylor, the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I help entrepreneurs learn how to get known, get connected so they can get paid. Then I also am the award-winning multi-unit franchise owner for Network in Action, where it is our mission to keep you in business through relationships, community connections, collaborations, and ultimately conversions. And then lastly, I'm the host of the Viral Networking Conference. Viral Networking Conference is October 4th through 6th in Houston, Texas, 2023. And it's going to be amazing. It's a life-changing conference. And my guest, Val, has played with me in every one of those spaces. You know, Ken Blanchard is famous for one of his books, Raving Fans. And if I tell you I have one raving fan, it's Val Vick. So welcome, Val.
Hey, Tony, so glad to be here with you as always.
Yay, thank you again for showing up. So Val owns Val Vick Content and Copywriting, but in your own words, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, Tony, as always, I am on a continuous journey of figuring that out and adapting and adjusting. But today, I am Val Vick, and I have a content marketing strategy company, and we also do creation. So that's where the copywriting comes in. And I am also a multipreneur. I have several business ventures, and I have two in particular, the content and copywriting, and my travel business, which is actually rebranding as we speak.
All right, very good. So the travel business and content and copywriting. We're going to focus on content and copywriting today because travel is pretty self-explanatory. But so what's the story behind you starting your content business?
Well, let's just be real transparent here. COVID hit, and my travel business was hit also. And I was a writer. I've always been a writer. I'm an engineer, so I have the right brain, left brain thing going. But I actually wrote years ago. Some people will actually remember Focus on the Family was a ministry worldwide ministry, and I actually wrote for them for a couple of years. But I've been a writer for a long time. I actually wrote my first play when I was in third grade, and the school put it on. So I went back to what else I knew how to do, because by then I had retired from my engineering job to come home and be a stay-home mom, and as a soccer mom, the PTA president, all of that. But that's what drove me to pivot into another area that I had experience and expertise in. And I ended up recognizing that the pandemic itself was driving marketing to the digital space more than ever. And I recognized that the copywriting would be a good opportunity.
So you have worked on your story through coaching, and you also are a speaker. So she is an international speaker. She'll travel wherever you tell her, because she's always on a plane anyway. But you tell an interesting story about your background and how it plays into helping business owners be unique in their copy. So you want to relay that story?
Brand voice is huge, in my opinion, with people's business marketing, because they're typically, you're not the only one that does what you do. I mean, there are other business coaches, there are other NIA owners, there are other copywriters and content writers. And so when I look back, I was 11 years old, 5'11", wearing a size 11 shoe. And I stood out. I was in school where people would come and wonder if I was one of the teachers, because I towered over the other kids. And I didn't fit in with them anyway, because I was the one who was watching Star Trek on the weekends when the other girls were going to the malls, giggling and flirting with boys. And I continued to always stand out. I was always the only African-American female engineer. I'm a chemical engineer by degree, and I have a civil engineering license to practice. And I was always the one that stood out, but I hated it back then. Hate it. Now, I actually recognize the value of standing out and being different. And I think that's what business owners really need to capitalize on, because otherwise they'll blend in with everybody else. And the other thing is, we attract our tribe based on who we are, who we really are. And so that's what I am excited about, helping business owners really make that part of their marketing.
That's interesting. So you were 5'11", with the 11 shoe, which made you stand out. How you took something you hated to now translate it into your brand and making you stand out, and then helping others to stand out as well, because that is the name of marketing. You got to look different than everybody else who does what you do. So that was brilliant for you to take that. When I started wearing glasses when I was 5, and I hated it. When I was a teenager, I just hated wearing glasses. So I got LASIK surgery in my 30s because I wanted to be rid of glasses. Well, so I took what I hated, and now I own 15 pair of glasses. It's part of my brand. One of your collaboration partners, Caitlin, created a beautiful logo. You can see it right here that has the glasses. The word drastic is glasses. So it's interesting how you take something you hate and you're like, I got to live with this anyway. I might as well accept it.
Might as well make it work. Right.
Make it work.
And people do think of you and your glasses. In fact, people be watching to see what glasses she gonna put on today. and they always match your outfits, right?
Yes. So Val, who are the coaches and mentors that helped you to achieve your goals? And how important is having a coach to an entrepreneur's success?
I did not really realize how critical coaches were for entrepreneurs, because before I was in corporate America and I knew about mentors then, that's the word they used, but I think a coach is even goes beyond a mentor. And the primary coach is right here, Tony Harris Taylor. But I also, Star Babatoon, my speaking coach, I am really grateful to her because of her helping me with recognizing how to use my story to distinguish, who I am. And there have been a few other coaches that have helped me to really embrace the worth that I bring, and therefore how much I'm willing to charge. Like, these days I just don't charge what I used to, and I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
And so I think coaches are critical because they help you, I obviously see, and I always believe you're going to need a coach to go to the next level, because we get very comfortable and complacent where we are, and so coaches are the ones that push us. Coaches are the ones that help us create a game plan to get from that point A to point B. And, when I think about sports, athletics, I can't think of a single athlete that's been successful without a coach. So I'm like, it's a no-brainer that a business entrepreneur in particular really can't be as successful as they could be. Now, some people might say, hey, I'm where I want to be and I don't need to go any further. And they may not need a coach. But I think those who want to continue to grow and go further, they need a coach, because they help us see what we can't see. We're too close to things sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I say that all the time. And so, yes, everybody who wants to go further needs to have a coach. So let's talk about networking. What role has networking played in helping you to find your purpose?
The role networking has played, first of all, learning how to network has been the biggest thing that I would say I have to say about networking, because what I thought was networking before, and I hated it, was really not the way that it needed to be done. And now that I've learned from Tony Harris Taylor how to do it, and I've been doing it, I find that the role it has related to purpose and recognizing when it's time to make some adjustments and that kind of thing is you build community. Mm-hmm. And you have people you can talk to and you can listen to that will, again, see things you can't see and, make suggestions or observations. And I think that the community has helped me to recognize that my purpose has been evolving too.
Yeah, I agree. You've collaborated with several people in our network. I remember you calling saying you got a 5-figure copyright deal, and it came directly from someone you met at the Viral Networking Conference. Yes. Or you met her at the conference the year before and met in person. And it takes time to solidify these relationships, but I know you fertilize so many seeds that they really are coming to fruition. So, okay. So
you've had a big role in that. Thank you so much. I mean, most of the people I've met that have been quality connections have come through working with you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you, Val. And you're easy to refer because you do great work. You don't embarrass me. You follow through. And if anything's not right, you make it right. So what else can you ask for? So, which is rare. There's usually nothing. She does great work. So, who's your inspiration when life gets difficult? Let's mention here that Val is a caregiver to her 80-plus-year-old mother. And anybody been there, done that, knows this is not easy. And then Val also loves to travel for pleasure and for business. And so how do you keep going? And what inspires you to keep going when it gets really hard for you?
Tony, thank you for acknowledging the caregiver role, because that's relatively new. and the last couple of years, and it's been an eye opener. And so to have that role on top of being a wife and a mother and a business owner, it's a lot. And there are days when I feel overwhelmed and I'm thinking, now tell me again, 65 years old, why am I still doing this? And I think that the inspiration comes from wanting to see our daughter have a life that she will remember and say, wow, it's been good, and I want to have a part in that. But I also believe what inspires me to keep going is I really work to pay for my travel, the ones that aren't free, because I love, and there's still so many places on my bucket list. We just
got back from Iceland.
And it was amazing. I wouldn't have picked it except my husband is a geologist, and that was on his list. But I'm glad I got to experience it because it was like being in Hawaii, Alaska, and Yellowstone all at the same time.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, I think I'm inspired by my desire to continue seeing the world and to help our daughter experience a life that she'll be able to look back on and say, wow, that was amazing.
Awesome. So what's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in business?
Well, you have to know me to know that for me to spend money on coaches, that's a big step, because I'm like, okay, I could have done how much with that?
Yeah.
What else could I have done with that?
Yeah.
I do really think for me that's drastic to make the commitment to find the funds to be coached.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I want the business to grow.
Yeah. And you've been consistent with your coaching, and not only coaching with me and Star, as you mentioned, but also getting your certifications, getting your skills. So what I love about you is you are 65, but you are always learning. You're like, I'm in this class. I want to learn more about what's latest, hottest, and greatest. And so on that note, let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the doggone room, ChatGPT, and this AI craze. As a copywriter, let's talk about that and how you feel about that, where it's headed. And do I still need a copywriter if I can just go to ChatGPT and crank something out?
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant, because I am, and I was aware of AI long before it was being talked about, because that's what I do. I was watching it, and I started basically started using it myself early on to see if I could recognize what the differences were, what it brought to the table and what it didn't. What I've come to believe, and this is for my belief, is that it's a great tool. It's another tool. It's kind of like when laptops, replace typewriters, in the sense that you still need to know how to use it the right way. And honestly, ChatGPT isn't even the best AI tool, in my opinion, because the way some people are using it, you really need to have references, and it won't tell you the references. So you'll end up having to do a second step to get the references. Now, if you're just looking for a more conversational delivery, it's great for that. But again, you have to know the best time to use that one or another AI tool, because there's more than by now, there's probably more than 30 and I'm sure there's more that I'm not even aware of, but I am aware of about 30 that I use for different reasons. The other thing that ChatGPT does, that is because it's grabbing something that's already been put out there. Think of the Pac-Man. Remember the game, the Pac-Man?
Sure.
Think of the AI as gobbling up what's already been put out there and regurgitating it out, putting it back, throwing it, giving it back to you. If it hasn't been out there, it hasn't been created, the AI can't create. It repurposes what's already out there. So for me, I'm a creator. I can create something that's never been put out there. And once I create it and put it out there, then the AI can grab it up and do something with it. For most business owners, especially ones who are either new or they're, doing new things, they are going to need help still with getting the content related to the copy related to their new stuff out there, because the AI can't create.
And AI only goes up to a certain period in time, right?
Well, most of the versions actually are keeping up with, like, if it was, this past week, the ChatGPT free version only goes up to a certain year, but the paid version is more current.
Okay.
So that's the difference there.
Okay.
And, some of Google's AI is pretty up to date, So there's all kinds of tools out there, but again, it's a tool, and then you still have to know how to use it. If you don't have the right prompts, I don't really care what you're trying to do. If you don't know what to ask it, it's your buddy, and I talk to it. I'm like, hey, how you doing? When I go in, right, I'm like treating it like a person. I'm like, hey, here's what I'm thinking about, or what I'm trying to find out. So you really, like I said, learn how to use it and take advantage of it, because it can be a great time saver. But the other thing I want you to think about too is, just like, I gave you the Pac-Man visual. Think about if this tool is gobbling what's already out there, repurposing it, and everybody's using it, and you putting your stuff out, putting it out there, honestly, how is yours going to stand out?
Yep, we're back to the how are you size 11 in a size 11 shoe?
Right. And even the bots who are searching, especially for people who are looking to be found with search engines, your regurgitated Pac-Man vomit is not going to really stand out compared to, what the bot's going to be like, oh, I think I saw that version of that already, I'm just saying, you got to understand what you're using and what you're doing. And the other thing I would caution people about is thinking that, oh my gosh, because of AI, I can just throw out so much content. People are overwhelmed with content. Yes. And honestly, if they can Google the same thing you spoke to the AI tool, why wouldn't they just do that? Now, I do think that people right now, the statistics are, people are still searching with phrases and using like Google and Bing or whatever. I do believe they're going to start using the AI tool to get a more comprehensive response than doing multiple searches. It hasn't happened yet, but give it a year, I think it'll change. But again, I'm back to be clear on what your intent, why you're using it, and remember that people are overwhelmed with information already. And that's why I would like to share one other thing.
Sure.
I believe that the new marketing opportunity, which AI is not going to really do a whole lot to help you with, is building community.
Yes.
Okay. Because let's face it, with social media, you basically got, reach, it's a weak emotional connection, with content, you kind of get a little more resonance, you got an audience, and your goal is to keep them engaged and really believing you're offering value.
Yes.
And that's why you have to create new stuff to offer value, because if they can look it up themselves, what are you bringing to the table?
Absolutely.
But the real thing is community, because that's where the influence comes in. And it's those are the people who, the raving fans, and the people who are going to really stick with you. And so I believe we're at that frontier for marketing. And I'm reading a great book right now about that. But I really am and we've talked about community before too, and it's not easy to
It's not.
and keep our community, thriving. But it is a huge opportunity.
I love all of that you said. And so thank you for sharing, because I am with you. We still have to be innovative, creative, and stand out as different. And if we're just regurgitating something that the system is giving us, we're still blending in with the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you share a particularly rewarding moment in your business journey?
Gosh, I have so many, Tony. I tell you about some of them, and there's so many. But, I love it when somebody comes back to me and they say something like, girl, I'm so glad you told me to do that, or you told me about that, or you gave me that feedback, or you created that copy for me, because it makes me feel really good about, what I'm doing, and I made a difference. I'll give you one story, and it wasn't one that, was like a huge financial result, but because I only charged her, I said, listen, I can give you an hour, $200.
Sure.
I'll give you an hour.
Sure.
So for an hour, I read something that she had created. Her husband, who is now passed away, was kidnapped in Africa while he was working for an oil company doing a project. And he was kidnapped, him and his partner guy was kidnapped, and they were missing for 3-4 weeks, whatever. And he almost died, but he came, he made it back. They escaped their captors and made it back. And she wanted to tell his story because she was at home pregnant in the US, and he's, missing. And so she basically wrote his story out, and she wanted me to read it and ask her, should she make it a book to try to publish it for consumption, or just make it something she shared with the family. And so I read it, and it was a moving story. And I gave her feedback on, if she wanted to move forward, what she'd need to do, in my opinion. I made some suggestions, and she came back and said, oh my goodness, you did exactly what I needed. And I am so grateful, because this has been so heavy on my heart. What do I do with this story? And, just that thing of that was so heartfelt.
Right, that validation.
And her reaction, yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm so glad. Thank you so much. So yeah, I've had lots. It's been a lot, but that was one.
So what's the vision? You're 65. Are you going to continue? What's the vision of the future of your business?
My vision is one you're helping me with. I would love to basically do less, but still help a lot of people. I want to create a community of particularly solopreneurs and small business owners who have access to me a few times a month. And I help them understand, like, for example, do you know the 6-letter word that makes or breaks a business owner in terms of their content marketing?
No.
Intent. INTENT. If you can master that, the use of that, what that means in marketing, your clients and your audience in their intent and your intent, and make them come together, that's where the money is. That's golden. And most people don't understand it. They don't have a clue, but it's so basic and it's so simple, but if you understand it, right? And so I want to really make the key things very simple, paint pictures. So it's not going to be written. They have access to me live 4 or 5 times a month for, a nominal fee. And I want to be able to help hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, but be less, it's not a lot of time before me creating. Right. And then the only other thing I think I want to do is I want to continue to help people with their newsletters, because retention, in my opinion, is the everybody talks about leads, critical, important, but if you can retain your
Yes.
client base and community and have cross sales and upsells, and let them be your marketing department, your sales department telling people about you. That's, to me, retention is the undersong, is that the word, unsung hero?
Yes.
I really want to focus on retention in terms of what I'm doing. And then the other thing is strategy, marketing strategy. Most people, it's kind of like the coach. You know, no coach has every coach, they go out with a team, they have a game plan. It's kind of like, okay, how many business owners basically throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to see what sticks in terms of their content marketing?
Yeah.
And so I would love to help people figure out what blend of content assets makes sense for them. I mean, there's over 80 plus content assets available to us to use. But we
Wow, I didn't know there. Yeah, I'm in this marketing game too. I didn't know 80.
80 plus. I can give you a list.
All right.
And I'm trained to do most of them.
I'll take the list. Please
Okay.
give me the list, because I need to probably need to interject some of them in my business and help my clients to do the same. So yes.
I'll do that. I'll share that. But that's what I would want to do.
Earlier, we talked about you being a caregiver.
Yes.
And a mother and a wife. How do you balance that? How do you balance personal life?
I don't. I don't. I think
yes, you do.
Balance is a fallacy. I don't think balance is the right word. I think that we make it happen. We make it work. We make choices every day. Some days I have to choose because of what's going on with my mom. I have to choose to tell my husband, no, I can't meet you for lunch today or dinner or whatever. Let's reschedule for this day. You know, it's a series of choices. So I'm just going to say, I don't believe balance is an appropriate word for me, because I'm not really doing a great job of the balance part.
Well, that's very authentic, transparent, but somehow on my side, it looks like you are, because you still make time to travel. And what I love is you have support, your sister, y'all equally balance things out, which is beautiful, because a lot of people don't have that. Yeah. But either you're on some exotic trip or she's on some exotic trip. So I think y'all balance pretty well. Yes, it's beautiful to watch. So, all right. So what advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs looking to start their own business?
Okay. My advice would be to, first of all, be true to yourself and be very clear early on. Don't waste a lot of time without first really thinking about why you're doing it, what you're doing, and knowing that you're not the only one doing it. So what does make you different? What makes you stand out? What makes what you're offering it's kind of like, what's that word, where I can trust you. I can trust you not to waste my time, because what you offer is real. You're not offering me something that is like, okay, so take the time to really look at that and then protect your wallet. Don't go waste your money on stuff that just, like, I get so sad when I see people pay lots of money for, and me and my thing on templates. To me, it's another tool. I have no problem with them, but I'd rather see you spend your money on making sure you understand that you are a salesperson.
Right.
And getting some real training and coaching or whatever on what it will take to have a successful business. You gotta, and part of it is mindset. You gotta accept that you're in sales.
That's right.
That and then the other thing is find a community that's gonna encourage and support you, because most people don't get what we go through.
Absolutely.
And, we need other people to be encouraged. I just sent a text to Dave Smith. I said, thank you for being such an encourager, because she encourages me all the time. I tell her, she said I encourage her too, but I love having a community and so if you start off with no one, you're not going to last. You're going to give up.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think those would be kind of the key things I would say.
Awesome. I love everything that you just shared. So my final question to you is, what quote inspires you?
Well, I think that, one of the ones you had, still love it, but the one that, because of the whole community thing, I think I've jumped on one by Tom Peters. There is no business excellence without community excellence. Think deeply about this.
Yeah, I love that so much. I'll have to Google that quote. That's my function as well, is to bring this community together, help us. This ain't easy. Even in the best of circumstances, it's not easy. So, in your circumstances, it's really not easy. So you have to have the support.
You do.
And I wish that when people, especially for me, when they hired me, I really stressed, you get me, and I'm going to put my head on your business, but more valuable is the people that I bring around you.
Yeah, definitely.
And when they see that and get that, it changes the game. So, well, Val, thank you so much for all your words of wisdom. This was so enlightening. You're amazing. You truly are living your purpose. And I love that you are always pivoting and rethinking and always retooling how you're doing things, because that keeps life fresh for you as well. So no grass grows under those size 11s. That's for sure.
And I bring it. And by the way, I'm up to a size 12 and 13 now.
I wear 11, so
you get it. But I do enjoy bringing these things to my clients. And, like you, when I learn something new, I share it with the people I support. And FYI, I'm rebranding. I'm going to be focusing on 50 plus travel, and luxury 50 plus travel. So just so you know.
I love that too. 50 plus travel. Let's go. All right. That's excellent. I got a referral for you just by you saying that. So let's do it.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Val. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.